Alright, here are the Unit 1 examples for Section 1.2. So square rooting a non-perfect square. Let's look at number 124. So the first thing we have to do is find a closest perfect square that is smaller than 124. Well, 121 is 11 squared, so that would be the closest lower one. Then we have to find the closest higher one. And that's 144, which is 12 squared. So as I've already said, the square root of 121 is 11, and the square root of 144 is 12. These are the two closest perfect squares to 124. Now we must examine which is closer, 144 or 121 to 124. And obviously 124 is closer to 121, so I'm going to choose. I'm obviously going to find that the square root of 124 is between 11 and 12. And it's going to be closer to 11 because 124 is closer to 121. So our square root is going to be closer, and I'm going to estimate it to be around 11.1. Now if you said 11.2 or 11.3, you're in pretty good range. Getting to 11.4 and 11.5 is probably a little too high since we are so close to 121. Alright, square rooting a non-perfect square fraction. So we have the square root of 5 over 6. And the way I like doing this is separate it into the numerator and denominator. The square root of 5 for the numerator is roughly equal to the square root of 4, which is roughly equal to 2. Now our denominator, square root of 6, is pretty close to being equal to the square root of 4 as well, which is roughly equal to 2. So the square root of 5 over 6 is roughly equal to 2 over 2, which is roughly equal to 1. That's our answer. We're pretty close. I believe the square root of 5 over 6 is about 9.2. So we are pretty close in saying that it's pretty close to 1. Alright, square rooting a non-perfect decimal. Unlike perfect square decimals, we cannot look at it as if it's a whole number and then just put the decimal places back in. We have to do what we did for a whole number non-perfect square, and that is find the closest lower perfect square and the closest higher perfect square. In this case, that is 1 and 4. 1 is a perfect square and 4 is a perfect square. So when we square root 1, we get 1. Square root of 4 is 2. 3.2 is between 1 and 4, so its square root is going to be between 1 and 2. Now we must examine, is 3.2 closer to 1 or 4? It is closer to 4. So we know that its square root is going to be closer to 4. And let's choose it to be 1.8. And that is the examples for section 1.2.